Alright, boys and germs, welcome to the Daily Crack today. Down here by the river, hanging out with some of the black swans. If you were looking at my Instagram stories or Facebook stories, you'll see there's a couple of black swans hanging around down by the river here today. And yeah, I didn't even realise they existed until I came to Australia. I thought it was just like a movie, to be honest. And all I ever seen in Ireland was like white ones. So yeah, it took me to coming to Australia to realise black swans are a thing. Who knew? Who knew? Right, this is a bit of a thought exercise for you today. Bear with me. Because this stuff that I have learned the last year, 2 years, has helped me get myself out of sticky scenarios or situations that, you know, I'm unsure about. And it's definitely helped me understand anxiety, depression, feeling overwhelmed. You know, all those feelings that, ooh, you know, put a handbrake on your day, and fucking, let's put it this way, a handbrake on your fucking life a lot of the times. So to cut the long story short, I'm going to give you that brief outline, and then I'm going to go into each thing and explain why it's important. All right, we have 3 basic human needs, and we want to fill our cups up in all 3 in order to have balance in our life. If we have balance in our life, we have clarity, we're moving forward, less anxiety, less depression. I'm not going to say they're completely eliminated, because I think everyone would suffer with a little bit of anxiety in some way, shape or form. It's been with us our entire lives, and maybe depression to a greater extreme. But these 3 basic human needs is love, self-esteem and security. If your cup is full up on all of those 3 things, you've got a pretty balanced life and you're in a very good place. Now let's break those down. First of all, self-esteem. What was that the first one I said? Love, self-esteem. Yeah, let's start with love first. Okay, so love. If your cup in life is full of love, that can be your connection with your family, connection with your friends, connection with your partner, and you give love and you receive it in equal amounts, but you feel it. You know that there's connection there. If there's a disconnect of love in your life, maybe, as I said, in any of those elements, your family, with your friends, with a partner, you know what that feels like. You know, listen, we all know what it's like falling out with fucking family. You know, we get our backs up over the smallest things, especially with family, and we can fall out and not speak to our family for sometimes years at a time. Now, in your mind, you're like, oh, well, they're not fucking, they get snotty with me, so I'm going to fucking hang up on them, and I'm not going to ring them unless they ring me, and all this sort of stuff. And we believe we're on the high horse on that one, but really, what's it doing to us internally? You know, because we're missing out on that connection. Listen, you're always, I think, like, the arguments you're going to have with family are always going to be far worse than the arguments you have with friends. With friends, you fall in and you fall out. And fall out and fall in, should I say, the other way around. But with the family, sometimes it seems like that breakdown can be so much more disastrous. Like, you know, it can be so much more extreme. And really and truly, who's right and who's wrong? I think in the history of families and shit like that, I think there's always been like massive catastrophes that, like, really and truly should be avoided. And you know, when you look at yourself in a scenario, you know, what did you bring to the table? What did you say? How did you piss someone off? And, you know, you might be pissed off with someone, but what is it that pissed them off about you? You know what I mean? So understand that can be a cause of a lot of what's going on in your life. You know, whether it's anxiety, depression. Maybe you don't see it because you believe the anxiety and depression is coming from another aspect of your life, but maybe it boils down to some connection you have with loved ones. If something's not quite top of the pops in your relationship, Jesus, I know what it's like myself. If you're in a relationship where something's not right, you don't sleep, You don't eat. You get that feeling across the bottom part of your chest that's like, oh, what's going on here? Maybe the communication is broke down. Maybe you're not supposed to be in that fucking relationship anymore. Maybe that person is doing something that you're not quite don't quite gel with. Maybe you're doing something that you know isn't top of the pops, and you know that person that you're with isn't quite happy with it either, but you're still fucking doing it. All these things, it's like the subject of love in your life is so fucking complex. But if you're not feeling it, if you're not feeling the love, if you're not giving the love, you can be damn sure that there's elements in your life that are suffering because of it. So think about that and fill up your cup. Self-esteem. Okay, how do you fucking feel about yourself? Have you confidence in what you're doing? Are you do you get super anxious and embarrassed about just being normal, just doing your daily life? Because that all ties into your self-esteem. What standards are you setting for yourself? Are you setting standards for yourself that are ridiculously too high when you're going out in public? Are you worried about the way the world views you? Are you being yourself? Are you trying to uphold a persona of what you think people want to see of you? Because how long are you able to hold up a persona? How long is that realistically going to be done? Because if you're trying to put on a public persona and then you have a different house persona, my word, you understand what I'm saying. How can you manage that? Because you're living a lie. Can you imagine the grief that's causing you? Can you imagine the anxiety and fucking definitely anxiety, but the depression that's going to put you in? And then if you are putting on this persona and then people aren't liking this persona that you're putting out there, what is that doing to you? Listen, I'd rather go through life just fucking being me. If people don't like that, well, then that's their problem. Fuck them. There's plenty of other people out there that will get on. It's like me doing this social media stuff all the time. I know I'm putting stuff out there that people don't like. That's fucking fine. I'm entitled to my opinion, and people are entitled not to like my stuff. The simplest thing I say to people is just scroll on. There's plenty of other cunts putting out stuff that you're going to like. That's the idea of social media today, that you can follow trends that you're into. Simple as. Doesn't matter. So I'm not going to stop being me. I'm going to give my opinion, whether you like it or not. Who gives a shit? That's what it's about. So start being yourself, regardless of what you think people think of you, because the other people's opinion of you has no bearing on you at all being a person. Just be you, because that'll tie into your love cup as well. Do you understand how all these things link? Simple as. So your self-esteem is very important. If you're not being you, can you imagine the bullshit that's going on? Declan, what is the crack? Giddy up, brother. And the final one, your security. What is security? Well, security is, in the basic form, going back to our primordial living, where we have to survive, okay? Your security is food on your table, a roof over your head. If you're in a relationship and you have kids, it's protecting that relationship. It's protecting your kids. It's making sure everything around you is safe. If you struggle, Melissa, what's the crack? If you struggle with like finances, that's a threat on your security. If it's hard to put food on your table, it's a threat on your security. If you're an entrepreneur, especially, because I feel this at times, and you know, you're putting in all this effort and money isn't coming in, especially with fucking COVID bullshit, your security is threatened. And particularly right now, anyone that is a business owner, you own a cafe, a bar, a restaurant, anything that's been shut down during lockdown, your security gets threatened. This is anxiety. Understand where that comes from. It's natural to feel these things, and it makes you react. And if your security is threatened, it can be very uncomfortable. So it's understanding and making, one, a plan for if there is a rainy day. We've always heard that. Always have savings for a rainy day. Always look after yourself, because shit's not always going to go your way. You got to be ready for this shit. So it's very important to know that your security is also tied into your love and your self-esteem. Because if you were putting on a false persona, in your business, people will see through that. They won't buy off you. If you're putting on a false persona in a relationship, that'll be seen through as well. And the love that you want, you won't receive. And that'll all feed into that you won't feel secure in your relationship. So you see the way these three things all feed into one another? So the idea is to fill all three cups up as evenly as possible. Now, let's be realistic. Are you going to fill all three cups to the top? Maybe if you're the Dalai fucking Lama. And I don't even think I don't even think it's possible for him to fill all three cups up evenly all the time. But your goal should be to keep them as topped up as possible. Yes, there's going to be drops. And the important thing for you to help with depression and anxiety and all these things that come along that fuck up your mental space, that fuck up your energy level, that fuck up your life, is to recognize where one of these cups is deficient and what you need to do in your life or change in your life in order to bring that cup back up. Maybe it's ending that fucking shitty relationship. Maybe it's changing that job. Maybe it's fucking becoming an entrepreneur. Maybe it's going back into the workforce and working for someone. Maybe it's fucking spending more time with your kids. Maybe it's going to the gym and working on your physical health to help your mental health. It's up to you. There's so many avenues. There's so many things that you can work on, but sometimes it takes talking to someone or chatting with someone about this sort of stuff to fucking realize where the deficiency is. Holy shit, that was a deep daily crack today. And I'm going to leave it at that. The three basic human needs. Self-esteem, love, self-esteem, and security. Fill up your cups. Giddy up.